Welcome back to episode 22 in our devlog series. This week has been pretty busy on my side as I focused on rewriting the way damage was handled in Windshire. Previously we had these info scripts that were handled all the health and the damage information for the characters, but this was a very specific script that you could only apply to very specific objects such as characters or the player. You couldn't put this character info script on any object and allow that object to take damage, and that was the biggest problem we had. We wanted in the future for pillars, boulders, and different objects to easily be able to be damaged in the world and just allow for more interactivity between the player and the world. So that's kind of what I focused on over this week. Before we get right into this devlog, I want to give a big thank you for our sponsor this episode. That's right, we got our first sponsor for the Hive channel, and his name is Boxophobic. Boxophobic creates amazing content on the Unity asset store, and we personally use his assets in our project Windshire. His atmospheric high fog was the perfect solution we needed for our issues with the way Unity handles their fog. His amazing fog shader was super easy to set up, and I was able to get the whole shader set up in about a minute. The settings that are on this shader are also extremely excellent because not only can we change the normal start and end distances, the color, and the density of the fog, but we can also add noise, directional support, and change the axis the fog is on. Another incredible component of Boxophobic's asset is the override feature. With this, you are able to select an area in your scene using a box collider and create a completely different fog for this section. Crossing through the different fog sections has this beautiful fade in and fade out effect that makes the fog look and feel amazing to transition between. I highly recommend getting this asset for your project. It's super cheap and is fantastic, and you can go check it out in the description below. We'll have a link to his YouTube channel and the asset store link. Again, thank you Boxophobic for sponsoring this episode. We love your assets. Keep doing your great work. Anyways, to start off the week, I got right into rewriting the way the game handles damage. Like I said before, we wanted to get the damage script to be as generic as it can be, so any object can have this attached to it and take damage. It wasn't very difficult to get this up and running. I just had to plan out exactly what I wanted the script to do and then just kind of execute based on my plan. In addition, I also switched over from the gamma color space to the linear color space. I've wanted to do this for a while, but with the other map already being finished, it was really hard to change the entire color space without messing up the colors. But now with some rework coming in, I decided it was a perfect time to switch over the color space and start readjusting everything to fit that better color space. On the other note, while I was working on programming, Perforator was working hard on some amazing models. Earlier this week, I asked him to make some dummies I can attack to test the new damageable class I was working on, and he delivered perfectly. He created these beautiful low poly models and they look amazing and are exactly what I was looking for, so props to him. The next thing I had to do was rewrite the original character info script. This handled things such as the health bar, names for the objects, and other such fields like that. I made my new class inherit from my new damageable class, which was a super generic class, which then I added functionalities for a health bar. That's the only really thing I wanted to add to a character damageable class, so it's a little more important and more specific than the damageables class, but it's not super specific. We decided to make the base damageable class only handle stuff like taking damage and only like having a hit effect and stuff like that, and not have a health bar because we didn't know if every single object needed a health bar. And as I worked on that, Perforator worked on another attack target that we can use. He made a range target that we can test out our bow's mechanics without having to set up a whole new enemy. This worked really well, as in the next few weeks we're going to be redoing the bow's physics and mechanics to make it more consistent and a better feel. In addition to our range target, he created a gorgeous looking oak tree that will fit the rest of our nature assets very well. The final task at the very end of the week I had to finish was rewriting the player info script. This inherited the character info script, the deprecated one, and added on specific player related stats like the stamina, the XP, and levels. I didn't like how the script handled damage and other stats at the same time, so I decided to split them up. We used the character damage on the player since we didn't really have any specific or unique code for the player taking damage. And to handle the stamina and other levels and such features, I created a player stat handler which handled all of those different stats in a cleaner, more efficient way than before. While I was finishing up the whole system, Perforator started working on a water wheel house. If you're on our Patreon, you can actually see these models firsthand. It took him about 2 days to finish it, but it looks fantastic and I'm super excited to get it in the world. In addition to Perforator working on the model, Excelsius worked really hard on getting some new orc models ready. He created about 14 different variations for the orcs, and we're really excited to get them into the project as soon as possible. And to top everything off, TheLonesomeBard started working on a beautiful track for being inside the towns. Though it's not finished just yet, we cannot wait to hear the beautiful soundtrack in the game while you were roaming around the cities. That's all we really did over this past week. Carl really focused on researching the whole quest system so we couldn't get too much of other things done, and I fixed the way the game handled the damage. While we did that, our modelers and composers were hard at work creating beautiful pieces to fit into our world, and if you guys are interested in watching the development of our progress, our team members sometimes stream in our public development channel in our Discords. This is where they show off their skills creating these beautiful models and music and just kind of chill with you guys for a bit. In addition, if you want to support our project monetarily, go check out our Patreon page where for only $1 you can have a cool looking role in our Discord server and see inside details of development. We try to post new models, features, and other stuff first on Patreon, so if you're interested in seeing that and getting a inside scoop, go check that out. And don't forget to check out Boxophobic's asset page in the description below. He creates beautiful, amazing assets to be used in your games, from the vegetation engine to the atmospheric height fog asset that we are using right now. Anyways guys, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next week's devlog.